Duncan, hello. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. So, for those watching, this is Duncan Woodruff, and how do we get to know each other?
We know each other through several means, don't we, actually? Because you and I both work for different punting companies in Canterbury. So we did
That
that.
was it.
Yeah. And then we also met up through a biking group, motorbiking.
That's it. Yes,
So we kind of
with
knew each
our
other
both
already
of our
through.
not particularly well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So kind of through one
Neither
bit.
of our bikes work very well.
Yeah. We just keep turning up in the same places,
Well,
basically, don't we?
I think we do. There seems to be a delay in our feeds. I think. So, Duncan, tell everyone what you do.
Yes. So I'm an actor. Well, I started off with acting, still do act, but I'm also an equity registered fight director. I choreograph any kind of form of theatrical violence, whether it be for stage or screen, and I'm a teacher and examiner for stage combat as well. So I teach actors and performers and, well, anyone who wants to learn how to wield a sword safely.
This is the coolest thing. I think the first several years that I knew you, I think I knew that you were an actor, obviously, but I didn't realize that you trained and examined combat, and not just on the stage, but as you said, like any kind of theatrical violence. And it's not just, fisticuffs and swords, though it is that as well, right? You do what, poles?
If you can think of a weapon, we do it. So I also happen to be the training officer for the examination board that I work for. And so I've been sort of working on the syllabus. So if you can think of it, basically we have it. We work on the basis of the reality of the weapon, the theatricality of the weapon, and how those two things interplay, basically. So we have quite a set syllabus for those things. But yeah, if you can think of it, we pretty much do it within reason.
Fantastic. Nice. So my name's Chris Henry. I run Chris Henry Photography. I'm a portrait photographer and a headshot photographer. And stick around, if you've made it this far into the video, stick around a bit longer, because at the end I'm going to tell you about a little discount, a little offer that I've got this month. I took Duncan's headshots. In fact, Duncan, you are still the banner image for my website, because you are just aggravatingly handsome. And you came back, didn't you, the other day? You came back for a bearded photo.
I know, and now it's gone along with the hair.
Oh, it has,
Yeah.
hasn't it? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I've got a bald chin again.
Just for like posterity's sake. No, it's not just for posterity's sake. It's for a spotlight, right? So you've got your spotlight profile, and how would you say that a spotlight profile should be sort of set up in terms of the photography on it?
Well, I mean, I'm not the expert on it as such, but I suppose as a paid up member of Spotlight, I have an opinion, and that's valid. The first thing is you've got your cover headshot, the one that you want for absolutely everything. That would be the one that most easily represents you visually and kind of gives an idea of a window into your character and things like that before anything else is seen. Add to that, I suppose it's also the one that you might want to put in the programs if you're doing a show as well. So it's kind of your one size fits all right at the beginning, the first thing you hit people with. And then you have, I think it's 16 photos you can add overall, which will be from productions and other things. But a lot of people will take that first shot, and then the next few will be a few different looks, and then followed up with, fairly high quality photography, hopefully from productions that they've been in and things like that as well.
Right. Yeah, production photos, I think that's important as well, not just headshots, but sort of demonstrating you in action with your full body as well.
Yeah, I mean, because, it can be deceptive.
Sure. So you came for just before you got rid of your facial hair to demonstrate that A, you can grow it, right? And B, just to sort of show what you look like when you do have some facial hair. And I think quite a few male actors in particular, they'll come and they'll bring shaving stuff with them, actually, and they'll get like a bearded photo, and then they'll go and shave, and then they'll have another set of photos. But obviously I had done your baby-faced photos before.
Yes. I mean, I've done it before in the past with headshots where you come in because you'll be given so many looks you can choose from, when you're working, and obviously down to the conversation you've had with the photographer themselves as well. But yeah, you'll come in, maybe if you've already got the facial hair, then you shave it off halfway through, so you've got a bit of both and things. Yeah, different from what I had with you, because I'd already had some done. Basically, because I've been touring with the show with the beard, it was worth having some taken while I had it before I got rid of it again, just so that, again, as you say, people know what I look like when I've got it, because otherwise it's, facial hair can look drastically different from one person to another anyway, and you can't really guess, can you?
No. You mentioned that you've just finished touring. I actually went and saw your Tempest touring around. Where was it? It was Forditch. It was a church in Forditch. It was the most magical experience.
Yes, it was beautiful.
Tell us about that.
Well, so I've been touring for a theatre company called This Is My Theatre, and they're based near Shoreham in Sussex. They have a good reputation. I mean, they play in reps. So we had 2 shows. We were doing the Tempest and the Three Musketeers for the spring tour, and they have a contract with the Church's Conservation Trust. So we spent a lot of our time taking the show into not defunct, but churches that no longer had regular worship, so still consecrated, but those that could do with a little bit of fundraising to help them, maintain it, things like that, and to bring their community in to a church again, in one form or another, for entertainment's sake. Yeah, so we did that, and so Fordwich was on that list because they were one of the Church Conservation Trust churches. The particularly interesting thing, other than the fact that you graced it as well, coming on to see the show, was we were told that Shakespeare himself had actually played in that church, which is quite a boon, really. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm very lucky that even though it's not a place that people would necessarily have heard of, I think I've trodden the same boards as Bill himself.
That's phenomenal. Am I right in thinking that the Tempest is earlier in his portfolio, and therefore there's a slight chance that it might even have been the Tempest?
Oh,
am I right in my chronology?
Well, it's actually one of his. I think it's the last play he wrote. Actually, yeah.
Okay, it's not.
Yeah, but I think at that time it would likely have been, well, from the people we've spoken to and things, that it was likely that the style of the time was really to pick up lots and lots of bits of things, a bit like a cabaret, but like a portfolio of show work and things like that, where it'd be monologues and duologues and lots of different things as well. Apparently the reason they went there was because Canterbury would not have those dreaded actor types in the middle of the town, what with the way things were going religiously at the time. And so the people of Fordwich paid for Shakespeare and the troupe to come down. And that's why they did it. So it was actually a bit of a snub to Canterbury. Or rather, where Canterbury had snubbed them.
Fair.
Dirty actors, that's the problem.
And you've just come off tour, and you've come off tour to do something really cool, which is to open a theatre and a performance space on an island in Canterbury, right? Tell us about that.
Yes, okay. So it was an idea that I'd had when I'd seen an opportunity. Basically, where I've been hunting in Canterbury, there's a little bit of land behind it, not doing much, and I'm sure the owner wouldn't mind me saying that. I'm not speaking out of turn when I say that, but the place had left for the time being. And I sent him an email saying, look, it'd be a really good spot for outdoor theatre. I've worked for enough theatre companies, touring theatre companies, to know this. And it's set up perfectly because it's got gated, so you can actually ticket events and things like that. And what with the punting company, you can sell the tickets, through them as a box office. And I'd be interested in turning it into an outdoor theatre, to which he agreed. So in the meantime, while I've been touring and I've had 6 days on and 1 day off, my 1 day off a week, has been trying to get this place ready. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's not really a budget at the minute. It's just trying to make it work and, flying by the seat of my pants a little bit. But, that's how these things start. But yeah, I've written a half-hour show based on the history of Canterbury for tourists and any audience alike, which will play sort of daily, hopefully, with a few other shows that we sort of throw into the mix after that. And then, of course, touring theatre companies can come and visit the place as well and put their shows on there too. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that going in August.
It's fantastic. I'm so excited to see what happens with this. So August is the start date, and I'm going to be shouting about it a lot all over my socials as and when it does get started, because I'm fantastically keen to see it happen. Duncan, I know that you're a bit pushed for time. Just tell us how people can get hold of you on socials.
Right. Okay. So first one is really predominantly through my theatrical combat company, and so I run a company called Sword and Scoundrel, which kind of fits the brief quite well because we seem a bit chaotic, but we know what we're doing. Yeah, we're running a summer course in August, actually, at the Malthouse Theatre in Canterbury. So most of our social media is geared towards that at the minute. But if you go to Instagram particularly, I suppose, and search Sword and Scoundrel as one word, you should be able to find us there. Our logo is a sock and buskin, the comedy and tragedy theatre masks with a small sword running through the middle of them. So you can find us through there. We've got the website as well at swordandscoundrel.co.uk. And though we've only just started it up because the Island Theatre isn't quite ready yet, if you look for Binnewith Island Theatre, funny spelling, but it's Binnewith, Island Theatre, which I've discovered is a Saxon word for, a piece of land with willow trees, basically. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like that there is a word for that.
So we thought we keep it. Yeah, Binnewith. Yeah,
And
so
this-
it's basically land with the willow trees in between. But yeah, so if you look for us on either of those things, you'll be able to find us quite easily.
Lovely. And I'm looking to be at this summer school. I'm going to be taking photos and headshots of the summer school. I'll do sort of when there are rehearsals and their plays, I'll get some action shots. And I'm also going to be there taking headshots of members of the course. So if anyone's watching this who is on the course, if you can get 15 people together who want to do it, I'll come and I'll give you a big old fat discount off the price of a headshot for being in the show. Something you can put on Spotlight, with your weapon of choice of training, so that you can show off on Spotlight that you can do it. Duncan, how does headshot photography, how does photography benefit you yourself? Because you've obviously come along twice. How does it help you?
So first off, as an actor, it's the first impression you make to anyone. If I go back in time to sort of being at drama school, when we walked into the room, these are all physical copies, obviously, at the time. And we went to the room, and the teacher had piled and moved photos all over the floor and things like that, and said, right, have a look at them, give yourself 30 seconds, a minute, tell me which really speak to you and why, and that's the thing, right? And then we'd come up with those that we thought were interesting and so on. But he then sort of went through the process of the fact that casting directors will, if you've got 600 to see, well, maybe I'll just get rid of all those that are black and white or all those that are colour, and then I'll work out from there, just to drop it down a bit. So it seemed quite ruthless. But what we discovered really is that actually the more engaging your headshot is, first of all, is you diving out of the picture to the person who's looking for you, so that you first sit on their radar. Once you've done that, then, of course, it's then working out who is this person. And remember, you've got to make that impression before they've actually met you. So, if they're looking through you on Spotlight or anything like that, and you've been recommended, as soon as they see your picture, that's the first time they get to see you. The other thing is, of course, is that it better be representative of you. Because if you turn up and you're not the person that was in that photograph, they won't be very happy, because that's what they've sold on already. So really important to make that first impression before you've even had a chance to open your mouth, see them, all those other interactions that you could otherwise have. You won't go through that door without that photo first.
I think you're right. And I use the word provocative, which I can't really use it on my marketing stuff usually, because when you hear the word provocative, you think, well, naughty bits. And that's not really what I mean. But you want to sort of provoke a reaction in your headshot, don't you? Something emotional. You want to really stand out and be remembered. I'm trying to get that in my work.
Well, and that's worked really nicely, because I remember coming over to you for that first one. So what do you want out of it? Well, as you get older and your casting type changes a little bit, you suddenly realize, well, what am I likely to be playing most often? Because that's going to be the breadwinner, right? Actors like to think about all their range and things like that, but unfortunately, there are so many of us around, the country and the world that casting directors can find exactly what they're looking for. So, the opportunity is not always quite the same. So you want to show off present the kind of character that best fits you, the one that probably is your go-to, things like that, and how you want to be seen. So when we came in, we talked about, I think it was something along the lines of being a bit more sort of maternal as I'm sort of moving into an older phase in my life, so slightly more authoritative characters, things like that otherwise I've not necessarily been playing. So it's telling something already through that. And that's even down to just the look and how people always say the eyes are a window to the soul. It's how you're engaging with that too. So I think that's really the main thing.
the discussion beforehand about the sort of characters that not you've played in the past, but you want to play in the future, and getting the photos ready so that a casting director goes, well, obviously it's that person, having remembered as well. Yeah, it's very important. Duncan, I know you're busy. You've got to get on, so I'm just going to mention the discount that I said earlier on.
Yep.
So for the rest of July, anyone who books a photo shoot within July will get a free headshot as part of the unlimited package. So usually my unlimited package, it's a completely time unlimited package. You can take as many photos as you want. There's no time restriction. You can try on as many outfits or lighting styles, and that really helps us sort of get to grips with the characters or the personas, the looks that you want. It can take an hour, it can take 4 hours, doesn't matter at all. So that's my standard unlimited package. Really gets us deep into the woods. And normally all photos are sort of bought extra on top of that. But if you book throughout July, your first photo is free. That's worth £40 there and then. I'm going to be there, said on Duncan's incredible tour. That's certified as well, isn't it, Duncan? You have
Yes, yeah. I mean, I don't examine my own students. Yeah, we'll have Nick Hall, who's an equity fight director as well, examining for us. So we're under the organisation ACT, ACTT. That's Actors Combat Theatrical Training. So we as an organisation, when we teach, we bring an examiner in, and then we qualify the performance our students. So which will then get recognised not just by equity but by Spotlight as well. You can use the drop-down box and add it into your credits on there too. So yeah, well worth it, and it has a progressive staging to it whereby you can start with standard and then move to intermediate and advanced, and pick the weapons that you think are more appropriate to you as well, ideally.
Mate, that's so cool. If I wasn't currently in the midst of exciting changes of the business, hint more to come later on, I would totally take you up on that course. It sounds fantastic. Thank you very much, Duncan. Lovely to chat with you. I know you've got to pop off, so I'll see you soon, mate.
Cheers, Chris. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.